All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the uh, professional development session this evening. So I will just go through quickly with some of the things and some of the ground rules with this professional development. So please make sure if you have any question, please you can just simply you can stop me and you can ask the question. You can also use the chat room. You can also use the chat room for uh, to ask me any questions. Also, today, as I'm doing it virtually, so I will ask you guys some questions. So basically, I want a little bit of participation from all the team members. Uh, Also, if you are not in an uncomfortable position, I will request everyone to keep your camera on. It's good to see the faces, when doing the presentation. It's not mandatory, but yes, it will be nice if you just keep your camera on. Okay, that's fine. So today, as I said, I've already informed you guys that I'm going to do the professional development session based on engage adult learning, LLN, and learning style. So basically, this is the topic. So we will basically discuss about the LLN, why LLN is important in vocational education industry, and how we can engage the adult learners. So most of our students are adult at Mega. So I will quickly go through with the purpose. The first thing is the purpose. Yeah, the purpose and the objectives of today's session is sorry. Something. Okay. So the first topic, Shabina, can I see just trying to see what's happening here? Yep. Is it going? Yep. So the first thing we will talk about the principles of adult learning, which is andragogy. And the second part, we will talk about the identify different life learning styles, apply strategy for each, and we also try to recognize and support LLN. What is the needs of the it's in the vocational industry. We will also talk about how we can apply a toolkit in practical engagement strategies for the driver's learners. And finally, we will talk about that how it is the LLN we can link in our engagement practices and also how it is related with the ESQA compliance requirements. What is the first questions? I will start with the session. What is the biggest challenge in keeping your student engaged? If you can just give me some ideas, you can talk that what are the biggest challenges that we face in the vocational industry to keep our student engaged? Anyone?
Right.
Yep.
The main challenge
Yep.
is especially the advanced diploma of students is they are already spoiled with our treatment from the certificate 4.
Okay.
So they are spoiled. It's very hard to motivate them, especially the advanced diploma students. I think everyone have the same experience about that. Yeah, about that experience because it's certificate 4 is okay. Some of
Mhm.
the certificate 4 students
Yeah.
we can engage them, but the advanced diploma, because of our maybe our practice, maybe my practice, maybe. Okay, that's my challenge. Like,
That's your challenge. Okay. But in general, what is the biggest challenge when you see the student, when you see the students that how do you think that what are the difficulties they are facing when they're studying at Mega or even in Australia? Okay.
I think
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Refer.
language barrier. I think one of the the big thing is the language barrier, and because
Yep.
they come from different cultures, so sometimes we kind of they already have some learning in them. They have their own, they coming from another country because they're international students, and they already have some knowledge which we have to recognize. But at the same time, they have language and cultural differences where they're trying to so where there is a Thai group of students, then they will be all talking into Thai, and they'll be talking, I find it difficult for them to get the attention from them to my
Yeah,
class.
makes
Um,
sense.
that's one of the challenges, because they're different. Some we have some European, East European, and other countries students also. So Indonesian, so the challenge is there.
Yep. What do you think about the assessment? Do you think the assessment can be a problem for them, that their thinking is too hard,
Just
or
share, sorry, I just shared my responses. I think lack of resources, not enough resources, of not the right resources available. It can be a big, challenge as well, and
yeah?
that will give you like lack of motivation.
Okay.
You know,
Uh, just to break it down, Ola. So
yeah,
I understand you're talking about the resources. So are you talking about in general, about the resources, lack of resources, or you're talking about that? No, it's a lack of appropriate resources, I think, right?
true.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, maybe the resources. So
It's big
basically,
general. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. I
a
have
lot
to.
of resources that we use, I think that maybe the resources, most of our resources are basically one size fits all. We basically using the resources for all the learners, but maybe we have uh, uh, students from different background, we have students from different cultural background. Maybe they can't interact with the resources. Yeah, makes sense. Anyone? Yeah, Mr. Zaman. I can't hear you, sir. You need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, in my view, in my experience, the problem with the assessment is the lack of time they're engaging on, because they
Okay.
are too much involved with the work probably, or some personal stuffs, and that's why they're not putting that much effort which actually required. Even
Okay.
though we are explaining everything in the class, and
Mm.
whenever they're in the class, probably they're doing some work, but when they get back home, probably they involved with something else, and that's just probably
Okay.
they're getting into difficulties. I believe so.
Let's just hold the attention, maybe, for a long time. We can't do it. Okay. Finally, Mr. Syed Hassan, you are on mute as well. I think he raised his hand. Mr. Syed Hassan, can you hear me?
Sorry,
Yep.
Shahid bhai,
Yep.
two more things, because it's Rifat madam and also Ola, they share the things. I think is my experience, like in that side, if we're talking about the resources,
Yeah.
I think is if we customize the video, like
Mm.
short videos, if we include in our resources,
Mm.
because not every student is the same type of learning things they are
Yeah,
adopting.
skills is not similar. That's what I said. It's
Yes,
like considering couple of years back,
yes.
considering couple of years back. Now we have blended learning resources. Now we have student guide. Now we have
Mhm.
sample answers. Now we have all the templates. But maybe for a student, it's the same thing. They can't basically maybe go through with I mean, that's what I said, like the appropriate resources, maybe the lack of appropriate resources. I will talk about it later on. Okay, I will just proceed further. Say, so basically, if you go through, uh, this is what, based on the research, we have identified that our students, they faced language literacy and numeracy, so lack of
Yes.
LLN skills, cultural diversity, as Rifat mentioned, the students coming from a different background, maybe the teaching style, maybe the teaching style is different. Lack of motivation and engagement. So basically, as students, we have seen a lot of students who come to certificate 4 of business or maybe certificate 4 of marketing. Initially, they are very much motivated, they are very much engaged, but over the time, once they go to advanced diploma level, their motivation decreased. Different learning style based on the background, obviously. Compliance and the assessments requirements. So basically, our assessment requirements is very specific that these are some of the requirements that you need to go through. Otherwise, maybe you're not going to be competent. Uh, Technology and digital literacy. This is one of the most very important these days. A lot of students, they come to um, study vocational education. They have lack of understanding how to check mail, how to submit the assessment, how to check the feedback. I have seen a lot of students complain that, oh, the trainer failed me and there is no feedback because they don't know how to check the feedback. Simple. And finally, as you know, the attendance and retention is basically as because attendance is not mandatory for vocational education. So yeah, a lot of students, it's hard to maintain the attendance and basically keep them engaged, and they need some kind of support at the end of the day. Okay, um, so now I will talk about basically uh, a principle. So a principle is Mr. Malcolm Nolly. Okay, Malcolm Nolly. He basically identified two different type of learning principles. So he said these things that okay, the adult learning and the kids learning is completely different. Okay, adult learning and kids learning is completely different. So the adults learning principles he divided to this word which called andragogy. A lot of people they pronounce it andragogy. So andragogy, I will pronounce it andragogy. Okay, so andragogy is basically the principles that how uh, the adults they want to learn. Okay, how the adults they want to learn, and I will do the uh, well, I will discuss about the adult learning. I will also try to differ it with the kids learning, how it is different from the kids learning. So as I say, most of our students are 18 plus. Okay, most of our students are 18 plus, so they know. So once the students are adult, the first thing is with the kids, they're not self-directed, but the adults are self-directed. So the kids, they are always depend on someone for learning. But adults, they are independent. They are not dependent on someone for learning. They consider that, oh, I'm an independent. So the second thing is maybe an adult, he got a deep ideas about things. So whenever we are trying to explain something, the students will deny, an adult will deny because he got a very deep ideas about some things. Okay, they always questions why or what. They always question that why is this, what is this. So these are the questions you need to be ready as a trainer. um, they always look for purpose. They need to know why I'm learning this. Okay, relevant, it have to be relevant. If they think that you are talking about something which is not relevant to the world, which is not relevant to their life, okay, they can't relate. Mm. And the most biggest problem is when an adult they come to a classroom to learn something, they don't come without knowing anything. They've got a whole life or existing life of experience with them. So they got a preset of mindset basically about a topic or a concept. Okay, so they come with a life experience in the classroom, and obviously an adult they always learn when it is goal oriented. Okay, so for example, if I ask my kid that I why are you learning soccer, trust me, he will say, oh, I love it. I don't know why I'm loving soccer, but why are you learning soccer? So but once you ask this question to an adult, okay, and if you tell them that hey, you need to learn this, it have to be goal oriented. to make sure that they know. And obviously, a lot of things we can push the kids to learn, even though they're not ready, we can push. But once it's an adult, you know, it's that person need to be ready to learn. Um, so, as I said, if you ask me that what is the main theory of andragogy, andragogy is basically the main theory is it have to be relevant, it have to be uh, it have to be impactful. So an adult, he makes sure that whatever they're learning, it is impactful, and obviously there is a goal behind it. Okay, um, so as a trainer, what we should do? As a trainer, we should do some sort of brainstorming. We should ask, we should talk to the student that, hey, why are they learning something? We should tell them, like in the classrooms, you can tell them that, look, you are doing this project management assessments, you are doing this business assessment. This will help you um, to write it in your resume. You can write it in your resume that, hey, you know how to prepare a sustainable policy for the organization. You can write it in a resume that, hey, you know how to prepare the document. So think about the topics that we discuss in the classroom. We discuss the topic. So, for example, if it is a business topic, that, okay, identify the WHS threats, okay, identify the policies and procedures for workplace health and safety. So these are some of the things we need to, as a trainer, we need to help them to know that, okay, if you learn this, this will help you on this. Okay, as a teacher, we should tell them how this learning will affect directly. Remember, as an adult learning, memorization for the facts and figures is not is a big no. So if you ask any adult that, hey, can you memorize this, can you memorize this, trust me, they won't uh, do this. So basically the andragogy is saying, okay, the andragogy is saying that, okay, that whenever you are going through with an adult learner, memorization of the facts and figure is a big no. Second. All right. Then, as I said, whenever the adult learner, they come to the uh, learning environment or in the classrooms, they come up with a big experience. They come up with a lifetime of experience. As a trainer, it is our responsibility to know that, okay, you got this experience, you can use this experience in here like this. So you need to tap the lifetime experience as a trainer. Okay. Um, and obviously, as an adult learner, you need to acknowledge the past experience. So any topic, so for example, I know I have a Brazilian students who used to work as a carpenter back home. So obviously I need to acknowledge this experience that, okay, before you used to work any sort of work, what sort of safety things you used to do, what sort of before you use any materials, what sort of safety things you used to do. So these are some of the questions they can relate with the workplace health and safety. Okay. So obviously, as a trainer, we have to acknowledge their past experience. And also, we need to relate it, how to apply the knowledge in real life. So it's the same thing. A lot of students of us, our international students, they may be working in a restaurant, they may be working in a kitchen, or they may be working in a factory. Okay. So try to relate those experiences that how they can use this learning in their current job or in the future job, basically. Okay. Any questions so far?
All good.
Okay. All right. Now
No,
I will
thank you.
I will talk about now the sixth principle of andragogy. The sixth principle of andragogy, as I said, we're talking about the adult learning. So this is the first tool that we're talking. Okay. As I've said, the first tool is the adult learning, which is invented by Malcolm Knowles. Okay, so he basically said these things that okay, if you want to teach an adult, you need to make sure these 6 points. Okay, the first one is what they need to know, why they need to know. Okay, why they need to know. Second thing is what is their self concept, what is their self-directed learning. So basically an adult, they always prefer the self-directed learning, taking control of what, how, and when they want to learn. We can't tell them that hey, as a students you need to study 6 to 7 o'clock. No, they will basically plan their learning. This is how the university or vocational education has been designed, that okay, we should give the students the study guide and other things, we should explain them, and then they will do their assessment. They will do their assessment in their own speed, basically, or pace. Okay, we need to tap, as I discussed already, they need to uh, we need to tap their experience, that what sort of experience they have. We also need to ensure the student is ready to learn. Okay, we need to ensure that then they're ready to learn. Fifth is the orientation. Adults focus on practical problem solving learning rather than theory. Okay, yes, most of the adult, they focus on the practical learning rather than the theory learning, basically. Okay, because they think this practical learning will help them to use these things in their job. So, for example, in a project management, in a project management, so whenever we are teaching the project management, we normally explain that the grow management consulting or maybe world education, these are the two most common RTO works company that we use. But instead of explaining those things, you can maybe relate it with their own life, that hey, think about this, that you are basically organizing a birthday party for your kid, you are organizing a wedding party for your friend, so how, consider this wedding party or birthday party as a project. So obviously, before the project before you organizing a birthday party, you need to make a budget, maybe. So the budget is the cost of the project, budget is the cost of the project. Then what are the risks? Okay, maybe you are doing the birthday party outside, you're doing the birthday party outside, and maybe it's raining that day. So these are the risks involved in the project, okay? These are the risks involved in the project. We can also talk about different sort of business case as well. Okay, so what I'm saying, um, to motivate the student, simple, to motivate, just 1 second. Okay, so to motivate the students, that we need to ensure uh, that the student is basically can relate with their current job or maybe their own life. Okay, this will always motivate the adult people to learn the new concept. Okay, now the second tool I'm going to talk about, the second tool is work theory. Okay, work theory is basically different people, different adult, they communicate differently. They communicate differently uh, with diagrams, flowcharts, auditory, read, write, and kinesthetic. Okay, so these are the four different way you can teach or you can help people to learn. Okay, the visual diagrams and flowcharts. So, for example, a lot of people, they are very good with diagrams and flowcharts. So if you give a flowchart, so for example, whatever I explained in here, this is more to do with read and write, notes and reading. But if you see this is more like a flowchart or diagram, the picture. Okay. So a lot of people, a lot of adult people, they communicate better with the images. They communicate better with the flowchart. Okay. Some people, uh, Flowchart is not a matter. Some people, they love to relate with the storytelling or a discussion. So, for example, you and your friend discuss something 15 years back on a topic, you still remember the topic because you are more auditory, which is basically discussion. So you relate more with the discussion and the storytelling. Okay. Some people, they love to read. They love to read. They want to just, they're very much comfortable with the notes and reading. Okay. So image is not a big deal to them. And the final one is the kinesthetic, which is role plays and simulation, is basically, which is real life. So especially for the adult, as I said, adult kinesthetic is one of the most important way of learning. But most of the scholars, they normally say these things whenever you are teaching, try to combine all four of these things, if you, because we have like 30 students in our classroom, 30 students in our classrooms, 30 students from 13 different backgrounds. Maybe some people, they will communicate good with the visuals. Some people, they will communicate good with the storytelling. Some people, they will communicate good with the lecture slides or maybe student guide and kinesthetic. Some people will basically communicate good with the kinesthetic. I will give you an example. So, for example, I got students in my class. When these students come to my class, I give them the student guide. Hey, can you do some reading of the student guide? Trust me, uh, a lot of students at Mega, they won't relate anything with the student guide because they don't know exactly whether basically uh, we basically pick the main point from the student guide and we put it in the visuals, in the diagrams and flowchart, in the lecture slides. Yes, they relate more. Then we show them a video, maybe, about this topic. And then we put them in the situations that, okay, this is the situation, you can use it. So that is more to do with the role play and the simulation. So, as I said, that basically, whenever we are uh, teaching or whenever we're trying to identify the learning style of different learners that communicate in a different way with different topic. So these are the four different things we need to identify, and we will try to, whenever we are trying to explain something to our students, we'll try to include all these four things. So this is what we call the work theory. Okay. All right. Now, next, if you look at this, what is the work means? As I said, the work is, the V is visuals. Okay. V is visuals. So in visuals, you can use chart, graphs, okay, chart, graphs, diagrams, symbols, map, poster design, visual art, provide handouts, illustrations. Okay. Um, on the other side, the if you see the uh, A is simple audio, all right? R is more about reading, and K is kinesthetic. Okay, so involve your students if you want to do the audio things. Involve your students in a discussion whenever you are talking, explaining the things. That is also audio things for him. Oral quizzes, ask questions. Okay, give some instructions, audio books, reading aloud, and voice recording, this sort of things. Reading is basically you giving a text, you're giving a summary, okay, to the students that will help them to learn multiple choice questions, other things, wide range of print media and other things. And kinesthetic is basically actual learning, like, so for example, field trips, role play, solving practical problems, video on real lives, and the filmmaking. This sort of things help the students to learn. So basically today, what we have learned two theory, as I have said, how the adult people they learn, and in general, this is the four different tools that we can use in our teaching. Basically, whenever we are teaching the adult learners, these are four different styles we can use. Okay, this is basically the first part. Now I will go through with the.
Sorry, Shahid bhai.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Regarding these four things,
Yeah.
if when the student they get the admissions with through the the marketing or the admission team, if they help us, if next to the students, if we get any of these four alphabet, even the combination of the two alphabet, that these are the types of the students of these two students, then it will be easy for us to design our lecture in regards.
Okay, I
Is
know
that
what you
possible?
mean. No,
Is
it's
that
not possible.
possible?
It's not
Is that
possible. It's not possible. I will tell you exactly why. Okay, it's not possible why. So for example, as I said, you have 30 students, you have 5 students who communicate well with the visuals, and who communicate well with the audio, maybe 5 students. So that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever we are delivering the lecture, whenever we are dealing with the students, we have to involve them in all four of this. The thing is, whenever we are basics explain a point, I'll discuss this in few minutes. Whenever we are explaining a point, rather than giving them the student guide, we need to explain it. So when you are explaining it with your words, with the examples, you already covered the audio, right? You also giving them some readings that, hey, these are some of the readings you can read. We already give the students the student guide, so we already provide the reading part of it. The only two things we do less as a trainer, as I said, we do we don't give them too much visual, and we need to give them some real life experience, basically, to use those tools so that they can understand well. So when you go to the classroom, if you think that, okay, I'm going to discuss this topic today and all I'm going to do is talk today, you know, when you say this, basically, when you go to the classrooms and you just talk, you only covered one point. Simple. So basically, if there is 10 students, maybe 3 of them will understand you, 7 of them won't. So that's what I'm saying. Whenever you are explaining, if you put some sort of pictures or some sort of graphs or some sort of process or the flowchart at the back, you already covered the visuals. You know what I mean? After you're done explaining it to them, now you give them some examples that, okay, uh, Kaizen, this is the theory we have used like this. So, for example, we are working in an organization, we're trying to minimize the process every day. One small process we'll try to minimize. Okay. So, for example, we used to order the milk from the coffee shop in pen and paper. Over the time we use it using to the app. So this is how we minimize one of the process. So you give an example as well. So this is, you already covered the kinetic part as well. So that's what I'm saying. So whenever you go to the classroom, you need to be conscious about this, that, okay, I am going to the classrooms and I am going to explain this topic today, these 2 or 3 topics, and I will ensure that I will use all four of these tools, basically. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We understand.
Thank you very much.
Just
Thank you.
as a optional, like I was asking the help from the team.
Yeah, what
Admission.
what are the help we can do? I will explain it in few seconds.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It is on the next slide. So now let's talk about the actual topic today, which is LLN. Okay. So what is LLN in vet? So as I said, so this is the company. Its name is, one second, Australian Core Skills Framework. So this is the organization. So basically ACSF. So they're basically saying these things that, okay, if we want to develop the skills of the people in Australia, and we want to make sure they're ready to work, okay, they're ready to work, and also for the education and life, 5 core skills is necessary for any human being. A human being. So, for example, I'm hiring a new guy. Okay, he doesn't know anything. As long as he's a good learner, he tick the box. As long as he know how to read, he tick the box. As long as he knows the basic writing, he does not need to write a 6,000 words essay. As long as he knows how to basic writing, he knows how to oral communication, and the finally is the numeracy skills. So these are the 5 different skills that we can use. These are the 5 different skills the Australian core skills framework, they have identified that these are the 5 skills is necessary for people to identify that they are good for working, they're good for education, and they're good for life as well. Okay. All right. Now each skill is described across 5 levels of performance. So they basically say that, okay, level 1, so Mr. XYZ, he is in level 1 of learning, so he is very bad learner. you know he is level 5 in learning, so he is a good learner, he learns everything very fast. Okay, same thing. uh Mr. XYZ, he is, when you give him a text, he is good in reading, so it is level 3 maybe. So as you can see here, so this is the ACSF level, so based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they have only 5 level skills. So they use 5 level skills. As you can see, all those 5 level skills is, yeah. So non-users, he doesn't know how to read and write, so he basically got 0 in the learning and reading. So this is how we normally scale the LLN things. As you know, what is LLN means, especially literacy, language, and numeracy. These are the 3 different things we use in LLN: literacy, language, and numeracy. These are the 3 different learning. I will give you a better sample here. So if you see this, and a student, think about this, one student enrolled into certificate 3 in business at Mega. Okay. So we need to see the students can do simple calculations. If you give him that, hey, you go to the mall, you buy $20 spending in clothes, $20 in food, how much? So he can do basic maths, add up customer bills with a calculator. So you give him the numbers, he can easily calculate it, using a calculator. So his numeracy skills is level 2. On the other side, these students, whenever I'm, we have some exams, we have some tools that we can use to identify this level. Our students is in ACSF level 3 in numeracy. The students is 3, got 3, so he got 1 point more than the other guy. So how he is better than the other persons? Okay, the students can calculate the ratios at percentage, adjusting a recipe for 10 people instead of 4. So you are using, so for example, whenever you are asking them to make the ratio, that, okay, I use 2 cup of sugar for 1 liter milk. Okay, how many sugars I'm going to use for 2 liter milk? Okay, they can do these ratios. Okay, they can do these ratios. So they are in numeracy level 3. Okay, finally, the ACSF level 4. What is this? ACSF level 4, they are basically a little bit more better than others. They are more better than others. So the students can analyze data, prepare budget, and interpret complex workplace numbers, comparing food cost percentage, sales revenue, that, okay, if I sell 20% of our production, 30%. So this is ACSF level 4. So for example, whenever we are hiring students in certificate 3 in business, okay, numeracy level 2 is fine. But once the students going to advanced diploma of business, we want them the ACSF level or the numeracy skills at least 4. So as you can see, we use this for this qualification in minimum SSF level is 3 is the numeracy is often required. If a student's test, so from a test, if we see that the student is level 2, we just need to give them a proper support. We just need to give them a proper support so that um, they can we the first thing as a trainer, we need to identify their level, and then what is the expectation from them, and find the gap, basically. So basically, as you can see, maybe as students in diploma of business or advanced diploma of business, this is the expectation in different level. But the students currently holding this page. So this is the gap. We need to provide them some extra support so that they can go to the expected level. Does this make sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Okay. So ACSF level is closely related with the Australian AQF level as well. So as you know, the certificate 4.1 is AQF level 1, certificate 2 is AQF level 3, doctorate level is AQF level 10. Okay. So obviously, when a student is a PhD student, see, we want their ACSF level in most of the categories is 5. You know what I mean? But the student is in maybe the students is maybe studying a certificate 3. Okay. So students is studying certificate 3 is basically this level. So students can in AQF level 2 or in between of AQF level 2 and 3, basically ACSF level. So this is how we normally calculate the students ACSF level uh, in terms of AQF level. So for example, our diploma and advanced diploma of students, we expect that their ACSF level will be from in between 3 to 4, basically, not below this. If a student joining the diploma, but his numeracy skill is still level 2, no, we need to provide him a better support so that they can go to a better level. Okay. All right. Signs of LLN difficulties. So obviously, how we can identify that this student is a case of LLN difficulties. Okay. First thing, the student is poor writing in assessment. He's not very poor in terms of writing. The students is struggling with forms, whenever you're giving them the form to fill out, especially all our project portfolio are forms, a lot of students, they're very good with the knowledge test questions, but once they're working on the project and answering those questions, they're struggling. It's a pure struggling. It's a LLN difficulties. The students confusion with the instructions. The students is confusing with your instructions, asking the same questions again and again. These are some of the signs of uh, uh, students with LLN difficulties. Now, I will discuss as a trainer what are the best thing we can do. As a trainer, what is the best thing we can do? Obviously, as a trainer, first do the ice breaking with the student. This is every student's trainer's responsibility to talk with the students. You know your student's name, you know them well, you know them by face, you know what they do. Just try to talk, basically. Make a rapport, build a rapport with the student. Okay. In this case, it will be easier. Ask students to log into the system, ask students to check the learner guides, what are the resources that we have, in the Accelerate. So this will help them to understand that what are the resources I have. The more you talk as a trainer, you can build a trust. Check their purpose of learning. A lot of students, we have students from different background. They came to the class with different sort of purposes. Some here for visa, some here for to learn, some here just to spend time. So just So the more you talk, it will help you to build a trust, and you will be able to know why they're here. Whenever you are explaining things, use simple English and plain language with the students. There are so many terms. There are so many terms basically um, that is not easy for people whose English is not their first language. So obviously you need to break it down, make it easy. Okay. These days we have Chat GPT, we can always ask Chat GPT that, hey, can you explain this word in simple English, and then this will help the students to understand the those key terms and identify the words that can be difficult to them. So it is, as a trainer, it is your responsibility to understand that, okay, eh, eh, that what are the keywords that the learners will face difficulties understanding this topic. So, for example, if you ask me, while designing this topic today, as you have seen, the first part of the presentation, I spent too much time on the presentation. I know that for a lot of people, especially this is the word is pretty new, andragogy. Maybe a lot of you know about it, but I'm just saying. So this is something, and then again, I have also, so this is one of the topic the students will face difficulties to understand, or the audience. Okay, so spend some time explaining those words um, to students in terms of, so as a trainer, it is your responsibility to identify those words that can be difficult for the students to learn. Use visuals or icons. Try to use some of the pictures or images. It uh, always help the learners to understand better. Demonstrate first, then explain. Sometimes you show them first, that then you explain slowly. You know, um, Sometimes, because if the student is not fully focused on audio, in that case they won't go through with what is you're explaining, so they can't connect the dots basically. So that's why sometimes it's good to demonstrate first and then explain. Give a step-by-step instructions, slowly give the instructions, offer extra time or one-on-one to the students. So this is what, based on the research, so these are some of the theories we can use for adult adult learners to help them to learn basically. Okay, now I will give you guys a task in chat. Can you please mention one LLN support strategy that you already use? It can be something that you already use, or maybe from today you're going to use in the future. If you write down that what you want to do, how you can help the students who got difficulties with the LLN, please write it down in the chat box, please. I'll give you 20 seconds to write it. Okay. Now, engagement techniques for wet classrooms. So this is some of the techniques that has been widely used around different colleges and different institutions. We use a lot of them as well here. We use a lot of them at Mega, but I will just try to remind the new trainers and those who don't know. You can use some of these tools for the students to use, to increase the engagement and for a better learning, basically. The first one is the Kahoot and Quiz. So these are the two different applications that you can use. Always give real life examples, case studies. So as I said, most of our RTO works assessments are either world education, or maybe grow management, right? GMC, I think. So yeah, go, I mean, try to give some example that students can relate more, maybe in a cafe environment, maybe in a factory environment, maybe in a construction environment where they are currently working. A lot of students are at the moment, a lot of mega students who are working in the construction site. So yes, whenever you are describing a topic, yeah, give some construction related examples. It's always good to pair them in a group discussion, role plays. All our assessments got some stimulation pack or role plays. Use some small videos. Don't give too long videos, small videos for the students to learn. Okay. Practical demonstration for the kinesthetic learners. Okay. Practical demonstrated, as I said, the kinesthetic learning is more about role playing and other things. Okay. I will give you a sample. So basically, when you know your audience for the kinesthetic learner, the first thing you show them a video. So you find a YouTube video and you give them, hey, can you see this video regarding, say, for example, continuous improvement. So continuous improvement. So you're giving them a video. Now, basically, after that, you give some example that how this video is related to their workplace or in the case study they are currently working on their assessment is. And finally, you leave them in a group discussion. So obviously when you do, so basically if you see this, this is three different methods you have used for a kinesthetic learner, and this will obviously help them for a better learning. Rather than you giving the video at the end, and you explaining at the beginning. So sometimes you change. I'm not saying always show them the video first. Sometimes maybe you do the demonstration first or ask them for a group discussion first and then uh, do the video. Good. But especially for this type of learner, yes, this is the tool we always use for the adult learner or the kinesthetic learner who always focus on the role play things. So instead of asking them to do the role play, okay, show them the video, show them some examples, and then ask them to do the role play. They can relate. Okay, now I will give you, this is some of the examples, as I said. So most of our resources, as Mr. A lot of trainers are discussing about it, that resources. So we have general resources that we buy from RTO Works. Now, those resources, we need to change it and make it ready for the students. So for example, as you know, the lean theory. Lean theory is basically, it's a continuous improvement theory. So this is the normal slides that we receive from the uh, RTO Works or from our supplier. So obviously, once we give the students that, hey, we're discussing a continuous improvement theory, which is a lean theory. Lean is a methodology. What they do, they check different metrics and other things. But look, in simple, lean is a continuous improvement theory that always focuses on minimizing the waste. Simple. All right. So in this case, rather than if you use just a small image here, as you can see, that lean always try to minimize the wastages. It, they try to minimize the wastages of the waiting time. It could be minimize the defects, minimize the non-utilized talents, minimize the inventory, minimize the transportation, minimize the motion, minimize the extra processing. So basically, as you can see, rather than just giving a bunch of text to the students, using one small image will give a better learning to the learners. So I will request my trainer. So whenever you are teaching, basically, we have the lecture slides. You can use your lecture slides for your own self. You can use some of the images. You can use so you don't need to use the lecture slide that has been given to you. You can prepare your one, or you can modify these things based on um, your learners, and you can make it a better learning environment for your classroom. Okay. Okay. The other thing is breakdown of the requirements. Okay, I'm running a little bit extra. I will finish it in 10 minutes. Okay, um, so I'm going a little bit extra. Sorry for that. So break down the requirements, as I said. So we always struggle with our students. We always struggle with our students that, hey, a lot of students, they submit the assessment and we fail them that, hey, you did not submit the attachments. So always try to give them some samples, try to give them some idea that, okay, here in these questions, it is asking you to prepare a session plan. A session plan, so you need to give something. It could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 2 day session plan. I don't mind. As long as it is a session plan and it looks like a session plan. So as you can see, coaching session plan, this is the student's name. Students need to, this is a role play. Most of our project is a role play. So ask the students that, hey, you need to write down your name as a coach. Okay. Who you coaching it to? See, this is a very minimal information that I have added. Okay. But it looks like a plan to me for a 15-minute sessions. Okay. So as the coaching session planning, so it gives me a guideline that I need to make a plan for 15 minutes. So give them some samples like this. Okay. See, these are the 3 attachments for section 3 you need to submit. So this is the first one. This is the WHS action plan. You show them how to attach this. This is the email that you need to attach. Make sure you put your name at the bottom. So this sort of explanation always help the students to understand that what actually they need to do to pass the subject or to uh, make a competency in the subject, basically. So as I said, break down these requirements to the students, please, as a trainer. It's always help them. A lot of students, they don't know that, oh, I already discussed the WHS action plan at the beginning. No, the explanation is you have to attach it, basically. So please copy paste those information, put it in a separate Word and attach it at the end, because this is something like this things is in art in the vocational education industry. You have to show that you can do the job multiple times. So that's why they will ask you the same question maybe twice or 3 times, and you have to answer the same answers 2 or 3 times. Okay, so a lot of students, they said, oh sir, this action plan I have put it in the project portfolio. No, you need to submit it separately as well, okay, to make sure that you achieve the overall competency. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Now, um, compliance connections. So basically, I'm pretty much uh, the last part of the presentation, the compliance connections. So ASCO evidence expectations. So ASCO, what they want from Mega, they want that we go through with the LLN testing before enrollment. So we have basically, we normally go through with a minimal LLN testing, but we're trying to make it better. So we have to show ESQA that yes, every students, when we admit them, we take their LLN test before to understand their level. So yes, the once we do this, we will obviously come and tell you that, hey, Mr. Abdul, this XYZ students, he got a lack of understanding with the numbers. He scored 2 or 3. So just uh, keep your patience with the students, and make sure that we will try to provide some extra support to the students so he can improve his level a little bit up. Okay, so at the same thing, we also ASCO wants to see that we have our assessment and that is uh, level with the proper LLN. Okay, and we also adjusted the assessment based on the students' LLN needs. Trainers PD records, how our students are working, our trainers are working any PD records or not. So obviously today, after today's session, I will send you the statement of attainment, that you can use it as a credit record, that all our trainers, they know what is LLN, they know what is LLN support, they know what is LLN level. Okay, so this is something we'll be able to justify. And finally, engagement strategies that we have discussed today. So the better way we can engage the students, this will reduce the complaints and improve the overall outcome of the students. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for next 5 minutes, I will play a game basically. Okay, I will play a game. I will ask all the trainers to go to this site, please. You can go to this site, which is kahoot.it. I will give you a number. So I will give you a number and you can log in. You don't need any login or anything. You just go to this site. This will ask you a number. So I will give you a number to join, basically, just to go through with this code. I will give you the number. Just give me 1 second. I need to live it. Can you see, everyone? So this is the number you need to use. Is it showing?
No, Shahid, but the pin is not there.
Okay, 1 second. I will show you. Is it there?
559630.
No, 379949. Check.
Okay.
You just put this pin.
Yeah.
You just put this pin. Go to the edge. Shahadat is here. Faria is here. Very good. Thank you. Syed Hassan is here. Look at Shahriar. Okay, I think the maximum is 10. So it's okay. So who 3, 6, 7, 8? Any more?
I can't.
Just
Ola.
go to
I'm
go to
in.
the Kahoot IT. Yes, Ola, you are in already.
Yeah.
Ira is there. Faria is there. Ranga is there. Yep. Abdul Bhai, where are you? I want you. Is he freeze? Anyone? Okay, look, I think that's it. We can't accept more than 10. Okay, so I'll just do this quickly, guys. So you have your number. I will put the questions in the screen. You just need to click. Okay, it's a 10 questions. Quickly. All right. Start. Let's see. What does the LLN stand for? 2 answers. We got it already. 3 answers.
Yay.
5. Good. Three more.
Why I can't click?
Just press
I
the
am.
color.
Yeah, I click, but it's not working.
Oh yeah. Now it did.
See, so 7 answered, all answered right. Very good. Who is the first? Ranga. Oh, wow. Syed Hassan is the second, and Shahriar is the third. Okay. Next. Which is the following is not a core skills of SESF?
Why it's not clicking?
Yeah, I can't click too.
No, you can't click here. You should go to that screen in your mobile from where you logged in.
Justin.
Where you logged in, basically.
It takes very long. I don't know why.
It's okay.
I think
It's not
Rifat,
allowing me to click.
not in the screen. It's on the you need to click on the screen of the Kahoot where you have put the login. It's two screen basically. Okay. Don't click here. I mean, click on the screen where you have put the numbers.
Who's the first?
Okay. Okay. All right. Shahadat is coming up. Let's see. True or false? All adult learners have the same learning style. True or false?
False.
Who is
False, but I
answering?
can't click. Look.
Yeah, me too.
Appa, you need to click on the other page, not here. The Kahoot page. You need to click on the Kahoot page. See, all 10, all false. Okay. Okay. Shahriar came up. Very good, Shahriar. Okay. In the work model, what does K stand for?
See?
Three more answers.
Hmm.
On the Kahoot page.
I don't know where the Kahoot page.
You need to open two page.
Mm.
That's why I asked. You need two devices. Okay. Someone said knowledge. Wrong answer. Knowledge is the kinesthetic. Okay. Which strategy best supports learners with low LLN skills? How can we support a learner with low LLN skills? Think carefully. Okay. Chunking information into small steps. Yep. Giving long written instructions? No way. Who answered this?
Because I'm clicking everything.
It's okay. Okay. Which of this is an example of visual learning strategy? Role play, group discussion, diagram, and chart. Good. Is the diagram or chart? Is the visual work theory? Okay. Good. Next. What is a common LLN challenge for international student? Please read all of them. Two more. Ah, all answered right. Very good.
Hmm.
Make sure this answer is right. Ah. Okay. Which principle is part of adult learning andragogy? Please, last answer. Adults don't like learning. Adults prefer irrelevant experience. Adults bring prior experience. Adults need lot of supervision. This is the last question. Okay. Yep. The adults bring prior experience, not adults need a lot of supervision. They don't need supervision. They don't like supervision.
They're independent.
Okay. So this is basically the 10th questions, I think. Oh, no, there is one more. Sorry. What makes feedback of presentation most effective? Last question. Everyone, please make it right. What type of feedback we should provide?
Constructive. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Shadat, you will get a cookie from me, okay? Not a coffee. That's fine.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Look. Mm. Pretty much. This is it, basically, everyone. So, any question? So basically, what happened, if you see the whole
Shahid
Kahoot
bhai,
thing,
just quick one thing.
whole Kahoot thing, basically, I have basically summarized the main points that what we have learned today. So you can do this, you know,
Sorry,
just
Shahid
to,
bhai.
yep, please.
Another LLN, when the international students coming to Australia, when they
Yeah.
get the admissions, do they have the LLN results with them, or who actually keep the LLN results?
It is from now on, all
That's
the colleges, they need to do it
yeah.
before enrollment.
All right.
So
Shahid,
we,
can I leave? Sorry, can I
Yeah.
leave?
yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Oh,
So
thank you.
we used to do it in a small scale, but now we have to
Thank
do
you.
it in a
I'm
big,
leaving. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, everyone, thank you. I'm going to thank you.
So in case if you want to make it, you know, now it's mandatory, basically, before enrollment, we have to do it.
Because that LLN results will help us to support the students properly.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah.
Look,
So we can find out. Yeah, we
normally
can
we
find
do
out
it.
level of
Normally
students.
we do it, you know, whenever we do those LLM testing, we normally come to your class. We say, look, the students, he's a little bit weak in English, he's a little bit weak in this sort of thing. So obviously, but we have to provide a different sort of support to that student so
Shahid
that
bhai,
they
I'm
can.
leaving now.
Yeah, that's fine. We have to provide a little bit of extra support just to make it better.
Okay.
Okay. Any
All right.
question?
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Pretty much that's it. I will keep the certificate of attendance ready, you know, and put
Thank
it in
you.
your pigeonhole. Thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Thank you, Shahid.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.